Hey everyone, Leland Best here from Leland Best Live. You are not seeing my face right now because this was done in post-production. We had a lot of snafus out there when I did the interview with Coach Jennie earlier today on September 17th. So I just wanted to get all those little things clipped out and clean it up. And this was really a good opportunity for me to give everyone out there the chance to see that even us professionals mess up quite a bit. So I hope you can stick around to enjoy the blooper reel that follows after the broadcast. It took me a little while to compile it because I kind of wanted to poke some fun at it and let people see, you know, that this is a difficult process, that it's never easy and nobody's perfect. So I really hope you all enjoy the broadcast. Jennie and I had a great time talking about her new Brilliance and Badassery event that's taking place in Chicago, Illinois. So enjoy. Have fun. This is Leland Best coming to you from Leland Best Live out here on Facebook doing my thing. If you didn't see already, we've been kind of hanging out here for a few minutes. That's Coach Jennie and I, but I'll be bringing her out in just a second. I wanted to give you guys just a little brief introduction to what's going on. So we're going to have a show. It's going to be about an hour long. Hopefully, if Jennie's got time after all this mess, she's probably going to want to leave me when I'm finished here. So we're just going to bring her out real quick. Coach Jennie is used to be the Audacity coach. She decided it was time to just drop all that audacious stuff and just be Coach Jennie. So that's who she is. She's got an awesome event coming up in Chicago on October 22nd and 23rd, known as Brilliance and Badassery. I can't wait to find out more about this event. I've been looking over the website at brillianceandbadassery.com. Go see what we've got going over there. She is also the author of the book, and I say Hilda, the book, not to be confused with some of those cartoon characters out there as well. But Hilda's one of those characters. It's that little thing that sits on your shoulder all the time and makes things troublesome for you. So if you get a chance, go check out her book. It's really cool. I've read it. I love it. It was just one of those things. So I'm going to now bring out my friend and one of those people that you don't get to talk to all the time, but I just love the fact that she's here. This is Coach Jennie. Hi, Jennie. How are you doing today? It was my fault. I was playing with. Let me explain why this is so difficult today, okay? Because I have to. I hate it when things go like this. We're doing a live video for Coach Jennie's sake because of this event. Well, I set it up on vMix to bring you all this badassery that you see around me right now, which is her on the screen, my cameras rolling videos and such. Well, the problem is vMix has not been fully approved to post videos with the comments into groups or pages just yet. They haven't had their app fully approved. So I didn't know that when I started my broadcast. I was like all set up with all this stuff, and all of a sudden I realized I'm not going to be able to pull the comments in. So thankfully, you may all know, I was once associated with that team of entrepreneurs known as Vidpresso, who was just picked up by Facebook. Well, fortunately, we're incorporating both platforms today. I'm using not only vMix, but I'm going through vMix into Vidpresso so that I can bring all of you in here on the broadcast through the comment section. So if you have something to say to Jennie or myself as we go along here, please feel free. We're going to head out real quick, Jennie, and see who's here. We've got Tish already on the feed today. So Tish Rosales, she's one of my great friends. I'm sure you've seen her. She's also got some other stuff going on. Okay, good audio there. We're happy. We got Jennie, and we're good to go. So I see a few out there watching. Hello to all of you who aren't saying anything. Please leave a comment so that we know you're here, and share this out. Smash that like button. That's the way we keep doing this stuff, and that's how we find you. Jennie, what do you got? What's this Brilliance and Badassery thing all about? You got to tell me.
So thank you so much, Leland. I'm super excited to be here. So Brilliance and Badassery, I am one of 5 co-founders for an event unlike any other. The 5 of us have well, we know each other from online worlds, but we all converged at a conference this summer. And I was speaking at the conference. They were attending the conference. And while we were there, we had a great time. But while we were there, we kept talking about the kinds of conferences each of us have always wanted to attend and have always kind of secretly wanted to host ourselves. But not a one of us wants to do this by ourselves. I mean, who the heck wants to do that? But the idea wouldn't go away. So we decided to put together what's called Brilliance and Badassery, which is a fun, alliterative, fancy pants way of saying ideas and action. And it's a conference happening in October in Chicago. It's more of an unconference than a conference. We're breaking some rules.
I love to hear you're breaking some rules, because when we met, we were all about rules, weren't we? When we started this mess. Rules. We were in the whole idea came about when we were on Blab Nation, and Jonathan and I had to make up rules because there was just such an influx of people coming into live streaming at the time. So you and I were both on the same page about, you got to have rules or nothing works. It just doesn't do what you're supposed to do. And I've kind of gotten away from some of that a little bit, but not in such a way that it's harmful. So I'm just enjoying myself more than anything.
I like to, for the record, I need to be clear. I like to have rules for a community so that everybody feels heard and everybody has the opportunity to get their voice heard and their ideas out there, but in a way that actually follows some semblance of rules. And Brilliance and Badassery is another way that we're going to do that, where we're going to make sure that you don't go to another conference where a master of the universe after master of the universe tells you how you too can become a master of the universe if you just pay them a lot of money. That's not what this is going to be. It's going to be quite the opposite.
Glad to hear that, because it's just one of those things you hear all the time. So many gurus are telling people what to do. I've heard there's two types of people. People who don't do what you tell them to do, and those people that only do what you tell them to do. So is that still true? Is that what you see?
I think there's something to that. I think there's something to that. I flip that around in a slightly more positive way. I am the coach after all. I have to. So there's two different kinds of gurus or leaders. Call me a guru. Okay. There's two different kinds of leaders. There's sages on the stage, like be a sage on the stage, or a guide on the side. A sage on the stage has got it all figured out because this is what worked for me. You too can be me if you just become me. And they are creating like a bunch of minions and mini-me's. That would not be me, for the record. Then there's the guide on the side. The guide on the side is more like, kind of like this is a weird analogy, but kind of like one of those weird old Russian men who teach ice skating to like a 7-year-old little girl. They're not getting down there and doing those little dances, but they can pull out of that girl her very best performance. That's what a guide on the side does versus, Michael Jordan teaching you to be the next LeBron James. That's as good of a sporting reference as I'm going to be able to get, by the way, yo.
Makes perfect sense to me. I don't think you need any further explanation. So you're going to Chicago, but you mentioned some folks that came in this with you, that this isn't just you doing this, obviously. So I took the liberty earlier today to put together a slide that shows who's going to be there with you. So if you could just run down real quick of who the players are here for us. Under the About section, you're going to find there were 4 other ladies involved with Jennie on this journey that she's taking to Chicago. And those people are from upper left down to lower right. And I know, Jennie, you can't see this because it's coming through Vidpresso, not through vMix, and I apologize, but you'll see it in the replay. Annie P. Rugels, we've got Coach Jennie, of course, and then Tamsin Horton, Carrie Smith-Nicholson, and Jen Vasquez. So can you tell us a little bit about those 4 while they're on the screen as to who they are and what they know and what they're going to do?
Absolutely. So you have Annie P. Ruggles. Annie is actually our Chicago native, and she is the one leading the charge of this group. And Annie is she's my work wife. She's been my work wife for a long time. What Annie does, she runs a community called Hustle Sisters, and she also is quite the renegade. You would totally love her, Leland. She's a total renegade. She is running a program right now called the Low Ticket Revolution, which is kind of the opposite of what every guru tells you to do, which is the high ticket thing. Annie is fantastic, and she is such a leader in this space. And what she brings is a focus on community and making sure that people find as she would put it, find your work fam. If you have a job in the career world, your work fam is kind of baked in. Every time they hire somebody, that's somebody you're going to work with. But when you work by yourself behind your computer screen in your studio, apartment, living room like me, you have to go out and create that work fam. And so Annie's really great at bringing people together for that. Carrie Smith-Nicholson is a longtime client of mine and one of my favorite people on earth. Carrie is the creator and blogger at Careful Sense, as in money, sense as in money, carefulsense.com. And she has been to, as you can see in that video if you watch, she has been to every conference imaginable. She cracks me up. When I was putting together that video, I was editing it together. I said it was kind of like her Forrest Gump shrimp moment, which is like been to finance conferences and blogger conferences. It just kept going and on and on. And, Carrie loves to go to conferences. She loves to learn, but more importantly, she loves to implement. She doesn't want to spend money. She's the money gal. She don't want to go spending money on something that isn't going to give her direct ROI. And so what she's bringing to the table is not only that, but also her project management skills. So she's our right-hand woman. She is keeping us on track because collaborations are messy and she's making sure it's not. So Carrie is awesome. Then next we have Tamsin or Jen.
Let me double check. I got to make sure I've got it right because I keep flipping the screen back and forth so that they can see who it is that you're talking about and then they can watch us talk about them. So, over on the lower left, we have Jen Vasquez.
Jen Vasquez. Yeah, it's pronounced Vasquez. Jen is the creator of Purple Penguin Fitness. Now, Jen is fascinating because she's also one of my coaching clients, full disclosure, but I'm also one of hers. I love what she's doing with Purple Penguin Fitness because what she's doing is saying that fitness doesn't have to be hard or complicated or serious. And she specializes in working with entrepreneurs, mostly one-woman shop, one-man shop customers who are working by themselves, who don't really have the time to run to a gym or the proclivity. So what she's doing is she has these amazing programs. One of them is the Purple Penguin Fitness Club. I hope I said that right. It's really about making sure that you add movement every day. She is also the author of a book called Fundamentals, where she's really trying to break down that you don't have to have this big complicated thing or hire a personal trainer in order to take better care of yourself and lose a couple pounds. So highly recommend her work. She's amazing. What she's bringing to the conference, of course, is she's our wellness ambassador. If you look at the conference agenda, you'll see penguining as something that we're going to be doing, which is her version of taking some stretch breaks, because they don't have to be some crazy, insane yoga pose. She's not going to ask me to hold some kind of my leg behind my ear or something like that. But she is going to get me up and moving and make sure the blood is flowing so that we can take in all this badassery. And then lastly, I think yeah, exactly. You gotta have that, right?
You do.
Lastly, we have Tamsin Horton. Yep. Tamsin Horton is, again, she's gonna give me crap for saying this, but I like to call her the lawyer that doesn't suck. Tamsin Horton, she is actually a lawyer by practice who, when she had her kids, decided, you know what, I don't want to work in some stuffy law firm and never see my children again. I want to have what she calls a vacationing life, where we're not working all year long waiting until we can afford to go on a vacation and then we'll live, but to have her lifestyle actually match a vacation. And so she lives life on her own terms. She's also somebody who fell in love with a tool called Kajabi, which is the tool that I have now used for my website. It's basically the home of my business. And what she does is she teaches people how to demystify Kajabi and apply it to their businesses, focusing mostly on solopreneurs like the rest of us, including myself and basically everybody else I listed before. So it's quite the team. And she's bringing a lot of, obviously, she's our lawyer to make sure we got our contracts up and signed and everything's just so. Yep. She's making sure our website looks stunning. And she and Jen put together have really worked on building sponsorship opportunities. And altogether, the five of us are bringing a lot to this. Now, my contribution to this is the facilitator, the programming, right? I'm bringing the programming. I'm the one that has the expertise in unconferencing, and which is something that not everybody has done before and takes a special kind of facilitation. And that's what I'm bringing to the table.
That sounds so awesome. I mean, it sounds like you've got the perfect dream team together for this type of event, because you've touted this event a little different than most people. You know, usually it's that idea that you're going to come out, you're going to learn something from someone who's better than you. And, you know, you're going to go into these breakout sessions and you're going to maybe spend so much time with this person and so much time with that person. How exactly is this event going to be structured? I was looking through your itinerary and I'm like, wow, this is freaking crazy. What's going on? I want to know a little bit more about the structure. What was the idea behind it? And what brought you to this point?
Well, you know, we were at a conference and it was fine and we were learning, and most conferences, you open up a notebook, you sit silently and passively taking in information by some guru on a stage holding a microphone. And I'm not putting that down. I enjoy being that guru on the stage with the microphone. I do that too. But at some point, you want time to more than network with people. right? You don't want to just meet them in the hallway and exchange business cards. You want to actually exchange ideas and hold each other accountable to actions. I mean, again, brilliance and badassery is just a fancy terminology for ideas and actions. And what we were finding is in this conference, when we would go and hang out in the lobby or in one of our rooms after the conference was over, that's where we were doing the real learning. That's where we were pushing each other. We were forming collaborations. We were sharing resources. We were asking questions that you can't ask your friends and family. Most of us are the only solopreneurs in our friends and family circle. So it was our way of saying, wow, look, we have a work fam now. There are people sharing oxygen right now who have the same problems and the same challenges and the same interests, but we're all reinventing the freaking wheel by ourselves and waiting for some guru on the stage to tell us the how-to. Entrepreneurship is just not that clean and easy. We don't need a step-by-step, here's the 7 points to put together the perfect funnel nonsense. What we need is a place to talk about the things that are really bothering us. I really think my prices are too high. And everybody keeps telling me that if I think that, there must be something wrong with my mindset. What if I'm just right and it's not my mindset? Wouldn't it be nice to talk to a whole bunch of people who have had that same challenge? Or I keep hearing about messenger bots. Should I care? That's different than like, oh, here's another webinar on how to build the perfect messenger bot. So it's a place to not just have those conversations, but to drive those conversations and to ask the questions that you're just not able to ask anywhere else.
Yeah.
Am I answering your question, Leland?
Yeah, I think you are, because for me, I was questioning myself before the broadcast, and we're just going to play fun with this a little bit, because I thought about like, okay, do you have to have a bunch of brilliance, or do you have to be a badass to be able to come out here and do what we do, which is just to try and either teach people entrepreneurial skills or help them build a business or help their business grow by using the wisdom and expertise that we have developed over the years. So we're just trying really in the utmost to help people. So I wanted to ask the audience on this one. We've got a little poll set up here. So I just wanted to find out, which are you full of? Are you full of brilliance, or are you full of badassery? So I want you to type each of those comments in the chat feed if you're here. I know there's not many of you here, and if you come later, we won't be able to tally them, but what do you think? Is it a combination of the two, or one or the other?
That is a great question. I think I think you might get some 50-50 with if you did this scientifically, because I think a lot of solopreneurs are strong in one or the other. They're strong in ideas or they're strong in action. Sure. I will admit, I think I'm strong in action, but I can get a little too zeroed in and focused on just one idea and not be open-minded to other ideas. And then there's a tipping point where I'm too open-minded to too many ideas, and then I lack focus. So I think Tish is saying brilliance, right? So for me, I think badassery is more my strength. It makes sense since I called myself the Audacity Coach for a decade. Yeah. But yeah, for me, it's about the action and making sure I'm implementing everything that I'm learning. Most of the people I work with as a coach struggle with that. They come up with a gajillion ideas, but how on earth do they commit to the right ideas for their business at the right time? Mm-hmm. And that's really what we want to do. We want you to be able to spend day one on brilliance and day two on badassery. Day one, we're really going to get down to like, what are all the ideas that you're considering? Are those ideas the right ones for you to consider? And which ideas could you go all in on? Because that's going to move your business. It's going to move the needle for your business. And then day two is really focused more on the action. How are we going to make sure that you follow through and we hold each other accountable and we support each other? What kind of support do you need? And how do we bake that into your business?
Absolutely. And what I'm seeing, just looking at the schedule, looks to me like there is obviously the whole mindset of working with not just mentors, but just creating a mastermind group where you have not necessarily someone who's over you and telling you what to do, but someone who's more of an accountability partner, someone who helps you to build what it is you're trying to build by giving you suggestions on how to move ahead. And I know I'm just the opposite of you. I'll be honest. I'm probably more on the idea end of the spectrum, constantly coming up with these cool things that we could be doing and left and right, but I don't take enough action on them because I usually have too much on my plate, and that's what happens. You got to be careful when you're in learning mode also that you don't get hung up on it, because if you do, then you're not taking the action. You're not moving ahead. And I was there years ago.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
just couldn't pull over. So what do you think? What's the best advice you'd give someone out there who's stuck in learning mode?
Oh, see, learning mode is scary. It's very, very scary. That's where you fall down what my friend Karen calls the info crack highway, where you're taking the next course and the next course, because it's so much more fun to go to a webinar and sign up for the next course than to, actually do something. No, I mean, one of the reasons we want to have this event and we want to focus so much on action is we want to help you to really zero in on the actions you need to take that are going to make a difference. And there's two different kinds of action. There's a project-oriented action, the things that have a beginning, middle, and an end, and the consistent actions. And how do we marry the two to make sure that they're really supporting everything you want in your business? And not for nothing, that includes self-care. That includes balancing all of your different life and work demands and making sure that you have what I prefer to call work-life harmony. But to answer your question, Leland, what I would suggest to the people that are getting addicted to info crack, to get them off the info crack, is to pick the thing that you took because you thought this would make a difference in maybe your sales or in how you do your sales pitch or in your marketing or whatever that biggest hole is in your business, and freaking implement the thing.
Thank you.
That's the whole, I mean, honestly, I would say 90% of the people that hire me as their coach do so because they just need somebody to hold their feet to the fire. They don't need another how-to. You know way more than you need to, but we got to move you out of student of entrepreneurship over to actual entrepreneur. And the only way you do that is to implement and to ask for business.
Gotcha. And that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's the brilliance part of it right there. So,
that's my brilliance part.
You got to stick with it. If you're here watching the video, please like and share this out to anyone who might want to know a little bit about the event that's taking place October 22nd and 23rd over there. I think I got a graphic even for that somewhere in here. Let me see what I've got. I'm bound to have something in here. Let's see. I think I got a Chicago graphic here. Oh no, that's not the one I wanted, but that's one of them. I was looking to have one out there. Let me see what else I got. No, I don't really have the one I want. I'll just keep popping that one up in the corner. But go check it out at brilliance and badassery.com. I'm going to take people over to the website real quick, Jennie, so they can see what it looks like so they don't get lost. Maybe find another page and think they're somewhere else. So I'm just going to put this over top of both of us for just a second. This is Brilliance and Badassery. That's got the home, the about us, the register, and also points you to some of the accommodations in the area. October 22nd, 23rd, and 2018. And it says here, a bunch of plucky solopreneurial badasses will converge in Chicago to co-create a remarkable experience and to grow their businesses. Will you be there? Absolutely. Why wouldn't we be there, right? And can you kind of give us, I think I can do this real easily. I'm going to put a countdown up here for us, even because it's not that close. It's a little ways out yet. About 25 days out, right?
Yeah, it's coming up pretty fast. Oh, no, it's got to be a little more than 25 days, though.
That's what I was wondering. Well, you said you're giving up yeah, I got 24 days, 22 hours, 31 minutes. That's what's on the timer to October 22nd. Or no, that's to the tickets. That's what that is. So you guys are closing out ticket sales. Yes.
Yes. You made me very nervous there. Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
I still have those 2 weeks. But no, we are closing off tickets at a certain point so that we can shift our focus from selling tickets to we know exactly who's going to be there and we can focus on finalizing the programming and making this the best event ever. And the couple other things is we're pretty honest and direct. One of the things that we don't like is when kind of smarmy sales tactics happen where it's like, but if you don't buy by this date, then the price is going to go up by this date. And I know that those are very common things that people choose to do, as well as charge everything to end in the number 97 as though saving $3 is going to convince you. We don't do that. So the conference is $500. When you register, please let us know that you heard about it from Leland Best so we can thank him in the way that we're going to thank him, which sounded dirty, but I swear it's nice. We're going to thank him very nicely. And, oh, hi, Carrie. Welcome. Thank you. And Jen is pointing out, two of my co-founders are here in the chat. Thank you. Jen is saying ticket sales and 10 days in advance. And so we're doing that so that we can spend those 10 days just really getting all the name tags ready and making it the best event ever. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I have to commend you guys on just taking that route, actually the higher road, you might say, because I've been involved with people in the marketing industry since around 2012. And I say that from the perspective of being someone who's marketing other people's products for a while. And I got to meet, and I've been on, creation. I've been on collab. I've been on some of my own developments, but nothing that really went very far so far. But the fact of the matter is I watch all these people. Let me just put it this way. The make money industry in this world today is making money off of people who have none. That's basically what's going on. And I'm saddened by that, because we as entrepreneurs should be able to help those who don't have the money to help their business or their lifestyle or whatever it is. And the only way we're going to do that is by either, like, for instance, we do a mentorship program over at Amy Carr's classroom where we provide all kinds of free education and free training to people, not necessarily about marketing, but how to build a business and how to be an entrepreneur. So rather than take that, yes, this tool is going to make you $1 million in 5 weeks. No, there's not one of, and I use this all the time. There's not one of these. Oh, it's not going to work. See? There's not one of these magic buttons out there that you can push and get what you want out of life. You have to go work for it. That's the simplest way to put it. And I'm just glad to see you guys are putting forth that facade. There's no facade. It's just you're putting up your face out there in the public and say, we're just going to teach it the way it should be. So again, more brilliant.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's the way it should be, but it's the way the five of us can sleep at night. And that was really important to us. I mean, you'll find that individually, one of the reasons that we coalesce so nicely is because individually, we all agree that smarmy sales tactics are unnecessary. Yeah. Now, this is not the least expensive conference in the world, but it's not the most expensive either. We think it's fairly priced in order to provide the service and the programming and the event and the experience that we want to create. And so we set the price and we set it as a flat rate, a flat fee. It just is day one of registration to October 10th on registration. That is the price. And that was really important to us. We also want to be really upfront about what you're getting. There's not going to be some surprise. Gary Vee is going to be our keynote. There's none of that kind of stuff happening either. Or wait, we're going to tell you about the cool speakers that we're bringing in because we know that you just want to rub elbows with somebody who's a mucky muck. I don't need that. That's what every other conference does. You got that covered in spades. What we need is a place where you get to come to an event and talk to people and learn from each other and contribute and participate and get exactly what it is you want to get. That's just really important to each and every one of us. We've been, like I said at the beginning, all of us have been kind of itching for that experience. We sort of created it in a small, tiny way, as in a conference within a conference when we were down in Dallas this summer. And now we're like, what would happen if we combined all of our different skills and did this ourselves? So yeah, I'm really excited.
Now, are you guys going to be putting together maybe a follow-up Facebook group or something for those who are involved in this conference in October? Yeah,
actually, that's a really great question. We have a Facebook group right now. As you register, we're going to add you to that Facebook community so you can get to know each other before you get there. We want you to start making those relationships. We also are doing everything we can to make you more successful. And by everything we can, we mean it. So, for example, Annie Ruggles, who is like kind of our head cheese of this group. Mm-hmm. She's interviewing all of the different participants who have signed up already, if they want to, on her live stream and promoting them and telling the world about them, because we want to help shine a light on all of your badassery. Mm-hmm. So we're looking for lots of ways. And then after the program wraps, we have some more great ideas in mind on how we can stay supportive of each other, not to sell you something new. That's not what we're looking to do. You've already invested in this and now you have a work fam. Now we're going to be a place that you can continue to feel supported.
Wow. And in that regard, then, is there going to be a virtual component to this event at all? Or is this strictly staged, you got to be present to win kind of concept?
Great question. We battled that a little bit, but because of the participant-driven nature of the event, when it makes sense for somebody to try to participate from their computer, I don't know how they would say, "Ooh, I want to be in that group versus that group." There's no way to film that kind of thing. We will literally say, here are the different topics that people want to talk about. Go up and vote. Okay, based on the votes, these people want to talk about the Beatles and these people want to talk about Barbra Streisand. So the Beatles will be over here and Barbra Streisand's over here. Because of that, it just doesn't make sense, or even logistically make sense to offer any kind of virtual tickets. Also, the point of this is we all live behind our computers. Why not take 2 days out of the year to get out from behind your computer, to put your flipping smartphone down for a couple of minutes and share oxygen with a few other people who get you and who get what it's like to be you.
All right, I gotta go add if somebody out there could put a hashtag, put your smartphone down would be a great one to drop in the comment section right now. We struggle all the time with the fact
I'm
that
speaking to me too here.
It is. It's like I've really learned a big lesson. I've pulled the IM app and Facebook app off my phone. I don't know how many times. And it's one reason or another, because of the way I do business, I have to have it. It's just not much I can do to avoid at least the contact. But I've learned to know when and how to handle it and when to put it down, because when there's family and friends around, the last thing they want to see is you on your phone tic-tacking a message to somebody else, because then they don't feel important at all. They don't feel like you're even listening to them. And I think people have lost that.
Right. Well, and I think that it goes further than that, right? Like, I feel like there's a good conversation going on about, like, put your smartphone away at the dinner table.
Yeah.
But when you go to a typical entrepreneur conference or coaching conference or fitness conference for Jen, or if Carrie's going to like a financial conference, if the speaker on the stage isn't saying something that you really need to know, how many of us are sneakily like playing on our phones or checking on our clients, and we're not actually present because, well, this part's not about me, so I'm just going to go back to work. And then what's the freaking point of going and traveling and spending this time and money? What we want is you to pull out your phone just to connect to each other. Ooh, what's your page? Let me like it. But beyond that, the phone should be pretty much put away so that we can just be there and get to know one another. And then more importantly, you know me, like, let's shove one another, which sounds weird if you don't know me, for the folks in the audience. But, a lot of other coaches gently nudge people.
Yeah.
They're nice.
For sure.
I'm a little more violent than that. I give people cathartic shoves, and we're going to push each other to be our absolute best.
That's cool. So in other words, as Trish Rosales says out there in the comments, be present. just be there. It's a very action oriented word, to be. You can't just, even us as human beings, we should be being human. And I see a big lack of that lately in the world. Me being someone who broadcasts globally, I'm out there in the eyes of people in India and Pakistan and Southeast Asia all the time. And we see some really great things coming out of those areas. And I really hope some of the people who are out here who know me and are probably watching over at Amy Carrier's classroom, this doesn't mean, just because you're on the other side of the world that you can't learn the stuff that, she's teaching and her friends are teaching, because it's obviously, this is just that moment in time where they all get together and do it all at once. So make sure you reach out to these folks one at a time and see if there's someone you want to connect with. It's more about the people you can register your soul with than it is someone that you can just, learn a quick skill or something. This is about going a lot deeper than that, isn't it?
It is. It's really about deciding to be a participant of your own life and biz, instead of a passive student of entrepreneurship. And deciding to be a participant means and we say this in the sales page, you are empowered and expected to show up ready to work. Okay. This is not the conference to come to if you're like, oh, I just want some more information, watch another flipping webinar. But if you would like to make the most out of the fourth quarter of 2018 and then make 2019 your bitch, this is the conference you want to be at. Awesome. Because we are going to do everything in our power to set you up for success. The other thing I want to say out there, the 5 of us are participants too, right? Oh. Yes, we're leading this and facilitating this and making it happen. But when we break up into groups, we're not going to be standing on the sides kind of watching and smirking and being all superior. We're going to be sitting down there with you, asking questions for our individual businesses as well. And participating right beside you. Because again, this is the conference, this is the event that just doesn't exist for us. So very selfishly, we've decided to create it and invite you for the ride, because we think the bigger our work fam, the better we all are. It's one of those all ships. What is that analogy? All ships rise and whatever. Oh,
you got me. I'm not one for quoting many people. If I do, it's usually someone who didn't exist in a book anywhere.
Well, it's already like 2:00 in the afternoon here. And so I'm already past my analogy budget for the day as a life coach. So.
Well, I'll go with that. It doesn't really matter to me which way we end up, because this is all about brilliance and badassery, folks. It's about, do you have the smarts to come up with an idea that can make you some money, or do you just have enough of an attitude and some tenacity to come out and do what you can do best? And I think that's what really sparks interest in people when it comes to entrepreneurship. It's the fact that we have control of our own destinies, and we have control of our own business and our own families and our own lives, so that we don't have to report to someone at 8 a.m. every morning and tackle that hideous traffic that you're going to have to experience in Chicago, of course, but there's nothing we can do about that stuff. That's just I-94. So what else have you got? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Carrie says in the comments, a rising tide raises all boats. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Carrie's got me. Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl.
I'm going to put that on the screen.
Yeah, so what else? I love that. So what else do we have going on for you guys? It's going to be a lot of fun. The thing is, when I hosted my own events, because I did a very similar kind of event once upon a time on a much smaller scale, because it was just me, it wasn't 5 of us. It was a one-day event, but I knew that when you work with people online, and most of your meetings are in live streaming or on Zoom or something like that, or Blab back in the day, you haven't actually had a chance to see somebody 3-dimensionally. No. So we're going to go ahead and get all of the hugs and, oh my God, you're shorter than I thought you were, out of the way on Sunday night. So Sunday night, we're going to get together, meet at a local watering hole around the corner from the event space, and get to know each other and spend a little more time with each other. I mean, it's going to feel like a reunion, even for people who haven't met each other yet, because again, we're already connecting them as they register. And then after we work our asses off for 2 days on our businesses, I say we deserve a break. Now, this part is totally optional, but if you would like to, we've decided to go see some of the sights of Chicago, including that very cheesy bean that's going on in Millennium Park or whatever it is. I don't know. There's a bean.
Oh, that big
and so we want to go and
see. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't really know. It's a very Chicago.
Don't miss Shed's Aquarium, though, if you're out there. That's one place you'll have to definitely see. Shed's
Aquarium. What aquarium?
Shed's. It's probably the only, it's huge. Oh, yeah. They've got some of the
I'm sure Annie knows, because Annie's our girl down on the ground, so she will.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to do a little tour guiding and hanging out together on Wednesday. So I don't know about you guys. I'm going to work my ass off Monday and Tuesday, and then take a hooky day on Wednesday and explore Chicago with all of my new friends. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Oh, that was where I was going to go with that. I had some images that I was going to grab, because I worked in Chicago a while back when I was younger. I used to put up cell tower ballast antennas. Not personally, I was designing them. And so I've been at the top of like 900 Michigan, where you literally look down and see birds flying by. So it's one of those scenarios where you're like on top of the world, where I was anyway. I could look out over Lake Michigan and see basically everything. And I can't really express to people what Chicago's like, because it's so diverse. It's like you got all these bridges passing over canals all over the place. You've got a lot of celebrity presence in Chicago as well, because you've got Oprah's studio. You've got she may have moved her studio by now, but it used to be right there downtown. And it's just one of those places that there's so many cool things to do. There's different ethnic restaurants. There's this nightlife that just rocks over in Chicago. So I'm sure, now you mentioned the event location, but I don't know if we've actually said where this is actually taking place in Chicago. Is that something you can disclose yet, or what's going on?
I want to disclose it, but the contract isn't signed. It will be in River North. It's going to be this fantastic co-working space. We've visited there. We just don't have the ink on the paper. I was hoping to have that before I did this interview, but we don't have it yet. It's going to be amazing. We're really excited about the space. I will share it as soon as I have the share. Can I post the link in the comments of this one, so that you guys, I'm sorry to be shy and weird about that, but you know, you don't want to jinx it.
No, we know what contracts are all about. It's just a matter one way or the other that you've got to fulfill. I mean, there's always, when Jeff Zan and I did a huge event last December, and it was one of those where we had NDAs flying all over the place. You had to. I mean, it's one of those things where everybody has their little business secrets and tricks and tips that they give out that they want to maintain for themselves as well. So there's also that we have to consider when we do these collabs like this. Even myself and Raven worked on her book, Conversations Behind the Mic. That was with 40 other people. And to get all these people on the same page to do something at the same time was like chaos. And we had some crazy events taking place on the background personally that were like right on top of it. It's these kind of things that sometimes we have to decide for ourselves what's best for ourselves or what's best for others. So can you kind of just elaborate on a second? Because being the author of Hilda, who tells you when to say no to some respect or another, you know, how does that also mesh into this whole brilliance and badassery thing? Because I would love people to read your book.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Hilda is really important. Again, a lot of, well, I'm just going to say all of the folks that are part of this program are a part of my Hilda world, right? Cool. They are either part of me writing the book, they're coaching clients, or they've all experienced it. So everybody is very fluent in the Hilda. And Hilda is the name I give for that voice in your head. Most people have called it the inner critic, or highfalutin terms like the inner saboteur or the inner gremlin or your lizard brain. I just named the broad Hilda because she needed a name. You can name yours whatever you want. But Hilda is just dead set against you being successful. And for solopreneurs, what Hilda wants to do is to convince you that there's something wrong with you, that everybody's going to think you're a failure, that you don't really know whether or not that's the right choice. Why don't you come procrastinate with me, but it's not perfect yet. She's that voice that says all of this kind of nonsense designed to keep you stuck. And because of that expertise that I'm bringing to this experience, we're going to open the conference talking a little bit about how Hilda screws with you. And again, I'm not going to be talking. We're going to talk with you and have a conversation about how does your Hilda show up and how is she helping you squander your potential? And more importantly, what are we going to do about that so we can silence her just long enough, because you're not going to kill her, but we can silence her just long enough to take the next bold action, to choose an idea or a piece of brilliance and to go all in with that action. That's the badassery part. So really that's what's near and dear to my heart. I'm on a mission to make Hilda a household name, because as soon as I introduce Hilda to somebody and you raise your awareness to this voice in your head saying this BS, and you call it to task and you say, you know what, I disagree. Here's what's actually true for me. Mm-hmm. And you get out of your own way, you become unstoppable, and I can sit back and watch the world change.
Very cool. I love it.
Hog tie Hilda. That's right.
Yeah, I just saw that. I had to put
hog Hilda.
Screen. We've had some awesome comments today, Jen. I appreciate it. And it's just one of those things. When I see people doing really cool stuff, I like to get involved. And whether that's something I would love to do here, Jennie, honestly, I'm going to do what I can because I'm only like 5 hours from you and you make it to Chicago. I'm over here in Michigan. I'm just the other side of Lansing. Whether or not I'm going to be able to make the conference is one thing, but whether or not we might be able to meet up, who knows? Maybe I can at least stop out that way and see what's happening. It depends.
Yeah, let me know. I mean, if you can't make the conference, but you can get your butt to Chicago, you can come hang out with us on Wednesday when we go look at the beam.
And that's going to be the Wednesday before or the Wednesday after?
The Wednesday after, like the day after the conference wraps. So the 24th.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. I guess I was getting it. I always think of these conferences usually converging on weekends. I've been to conferences on weekends and not so much during the week. So was that a choice you made?
We talked about that. It was a very specific choice. It was a tough one, but you know, a lot of us have lives. Marriages, children, absolutely. People that we like to see on the weekends. And so often these conferences end up on the weekend. And if you're anything like us, solopreneurs already work 50, 60, 70 hours a week. Who the heck wants to add on to that all of our learning and support on the weekend? Not these people. That's just silly. So we wanted to be able to fly in on the weekend, hang out with each other, get started on Monday, kill it on Tuesday, take a hooky day Wednesday, and then head back home. So that was very strategic. And yes, I know it's hard for some of the folks because we've gotten the feedback, but now, you know, I have kids in school and stuff and we get that. We can't make everybody happy. But it really was intentional to us because we feel like our work just is so important that it's good to put it down for a freaking minute to go work on your business. And so you can return to work in your business. That's important.
Love it. I love it. I love it. So we're down to the last 14, 15 minutes here, Jennie. And I was going to see if there's anyone out there in the group who is watching here today. I see we've had about 28 or so people just come through in the 45 minutes we've been here, and 5 are still hanging out. So that's all good. Layla, I want to welcome you to the broadcast. She's actually down in Brazil, and she's one of our mentors over at Amy Carrier's classroom. So, and I'll talk about that just before I wrap up my show. But, what have you got for the folks who don't understand what it is you do? Because I know you call yourself Coach Jennie, and that's kind of an open-ended statement in reality. I know the Audacity coach was even one of those that people would go like, okay, she's audacious, but what does Coach Jennie do all day long?
It's a really fair question. I had to, just a quick aside, I had to drop the Audacity coach because on Twitter, people kept asking me for tips on how to fix that audio recording tool.
Yeah, it's a software program. I use it.
I've never used it, so I was useless. So yes, so what I do, I've decided to just go by Coach Jennie, not because I think I'm Oprah or something, but because my name is Jennie Musafa-Julock, and who's going to figure out how to spell that one?
It's a tough one.
So Coach Jennie is really what I am all about is digging into why entrepreneurs are getting in their own way, specifically how Hilda is contributing to that so that we can figure that out. See, I don't work with people who are just getting started in their businesses necessarily. I work with people who maybe haven't made their first dollar yet, though, because they've fallen down the info crack highway. They spend a ton of time studying how to become an entrepreneur, but very little time actually putting themselves out there. Maybe they're waiting for it to be perfect. Maybe they're second guessing their every move. Maybe they're waiting for permission from somebody else. Maybe they're too obsessed about what their parents are going to think. Or maybe they just deep down have so much self-doubt, they can't believe that they can ever actually be successful. That is what's in the way, not a how-to. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that nobody's holding your feet to the fire and supporting you through all of those thoughts. Everybody says to you, oh, just think positive thoughts and go la, 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 and like that's going to work. We actually have to process these thoughts, do something with them, call BS on them, and understand where they're coming from. And then once you're able to do that, you're able to change your thoughts, you're able to change your feelings, you're able to change your actions. So again, what my work is about is for anybody who's out there feeling like, I know I'm on the brink of something great. I know that this business could be so much more, and then my life could be so much more. And I know that the only reason it's not there is I can't for the life of me figure out how to get out of my own way. That's okay. I got you. I know how to help you. And that's what my work is all about. So if you want to learn more about that, the first thing I would invite you to do, which is totally free, no strings, but is to go to coachjennie.com and check out the quiz on there. There's a 7-question quiz that is quite funny, where you can look at these 7 different scenarios and answer how your inner critic or how your inner Hilda might answer those. If when you're reading those things, you're searching for the none of the above, I'm not for you. But if you start clicking some of those answers thinking, why is this woman in my head? I might just be the perfect coach for you.
Right. All right. Well, you heard it from Coach Jennie herself. Go to coachjennie.com, find out what she's got for it. And you said this is like a form they've got to fill out to kind of get an idea of whether you guys are a good match.
It's a quiz.
It's just a quiz.
What it is it's a quiz. It's a quiz that's going to find out the different personality options of your inner critic. See, there's 4 different kinds of Hildas, people. I thought she was just one nasty, bitchy woman. No, she's complicated. There's 4 Hildas. There's I can't, I shouldn't, I don't know, and I don't wanna. And based on how you answer these questions, we're going to figure out how your Hilda is showing up for you right now. Some of the questions ask things like, you've just made a horrible mistake in an email sequence you sent out. What is your Hilda saying? And others are like, you just got invited to do a TED Talk. What is your Hilda saying? And what I want to hear from you there is, how is your Hilda showing up? And then based on those results, you'll get sent over to, here's the Hilda you're hearing from lately, and here's what we're going to do about her.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that sounds really cool. And I'm just going to wrap it up for those that are outside of the U.S. Obviously, you've never heard of Chicago, Illinois, maybe. I doubt that. Come on. It's one of the biggest cities in our country over here. But for those who are out there and curious where Jennie's going, I had a little thing going. I just wanted to show people real quick because I'm playing around. I'm doing my badassery like I always do. And I'm going to zoom in on where Chicago is. If you see the planet here, this is where we're headed, folks. It's Chicago, Illinois. We're going to wrap ourselves around the planet in just a second. And we're going to zoom in and find, she's not that far from me. She's just down here. And you guys are going to be, I suspect, down along the south side of town. Am I correct? Or are you going to be right downtown?
We're in River North. Do you know I don't know exactly where that is. I'm not a Chicago girl, but I think it's north of that river.
Yes, I believe it's up here. Because there's the Museum of Contemporary Art. I'm not going to go looking for it.
We're in that.
You're in this zone right here, basically, is where you're going to be. All right, cool. Very cool.
Exactly.
Let me show you where I'd have to drive. I'm going to be coming from like way over here, about where that little hand is at. I'm up here on the northeast side of Lansing, between Lansing and Flint. So I could shoot 94 all the way down to see you guys. It's about a 5-hour trip, but it's not impossible. So we'll see what happens one way or another. I can't make any promises
I'm flying
yet.
In from
Yeah, right.
Of course, but I'm flying in from LA. So, you know, I'm not going to do this. I want to be very clear that I'm not doing this, but I did have this half thought of like, what if I rent a van and then I like drive to Chicago and pick up all my friends in like Vegas and Utah and Omaha. That would be really fun, except I would arrive exhausted. So I chose not to do that, but maybe one day.
And I think you'd need a bus, not a van. You've got a lot more followers than would ever fit in a van, Jennie. So keep that in mind.
That is very true. Thank you.
All right. Well,
need a bus.
You've given me more than an adequate amount of your time today, and we're just going to wrap this up with some things that I'm going to end the show with before I leave. So I'm going to let you go a little bit early, and I appreciate all your time. Everything you do on that side, we have to kind of coordinate with ours, just like I do on the other side of the planet all the time. Can you give out any bit of last-minute advice to those folks who are out there who are stuck and don't know what to do, how to get out of their own way, how to stop stepping on their own toes? Give us your best advice.
My best advice is to reach out and don't go it alone. Everything that you're thinking is normal. If you're picking up anything I put down, the fact that I'm able to have a business doing what I do says that what you're going through is completely normal. So what I would say is reach out to me. Don't wait. Just ping me on Facebook, go to Jennie at CoachJennie.com and email me, whatever you need to do. Let's have a conversation. No strings, no hard sell, not my style, but I want to make sure that you don't squander your potential.
That's very cool. All right. Once again, that has been Coach Jennie of CoachJennie.com, bringing you some brilliance and badassery coming up on October 22nd. Make sure you go sign up at brillianceandbadassery.com. And she said it's $500 to get involved, but this is not your typical run-of-the-mill entrepreneurial event. So make sure that you go check it out. The itinerary is there as well, and I think you're going to be blown away by what they're offering. So good luck, Coach. I hope everything works out for you, and I'll see you in the next live. All right, I'll see you in the next live video. Take care. Peace.
Bye. All
right, you can just hang up and close that window, and you'll be out. So we'll see you next time. All right. So that was Coach Jennie of CoachJennie.com, and I appreciate having her on the show today. For those of you who don't know me so much, my name is Leland Best. I run Leland Best Live, which is under the brand of BCB Live. I run a website known as bcblive.com, where I provide the best solutions for live stream broadcasters when available. I'm always out here trying to get people to understand how to create what you just saw here today, which is a live video presentation with a call in from the other side of the country, being able to share graphics, overlays, lower thirds, you name it. We work it all together with software, techniques, tricks, tactics, anything that you can come up with to make your live stream a little bit better. So come on by, join us over at Leland Best Live. You can chat with my chat bot, Candid, if you'd like some more information. And if you do need to talk to me, just let me know on the feed, and I'll be happy to join in as well. So come by next time. I'm going to start doing these broadcasts a little more often with some entrepreneurs, some business owners, business developers, you name it. We're going to be getting in touch with all those people who are out here doing what they do best online. So we'll see you in the next live video as well. Take care, everyone. Have a great week and a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Major snafu go out there. So I'll be dumping this video, and then we're going to come back with a recording after we're all done. So give me just a second while I fix the issue that I had. Just a second. All right, let's try that one more time. This is Leland Best over at Leland. They're not hearing me. This is Leland Best Oh, wow. I got a serious echo in my ear. I got to make sure I don't do that to myself ever again. This is Leland Best. I've got my mixer up here on the screen because Jennie and I were just going through some stuff and trying to figure out what we were going to do for the broadcast and forgot that you guys were out here. So let me start the countdown for the show here today. That's not the one I want. That's the other countdown. Oh, my God. This is just one of those, right? Beginning, I'm just going to start right over here where we say, so Jennie, tell me, you got to talk to me about this brilliance and badassery thing that you got going on in Chicago, Illinois. Feed me. Tell me everything about it.
Yes.
We're on the screen, so if you can go from top left, it's going to come up in just a second. If you can go from top left to lower, you should be able to see it. What do you think about that? No, you're not going to be able to.
I can't see it yet. Say that too fast.
Too many P's.
It's a lot of P's. She really likes purple.
Makes sense. Oops, I lost you, Jennie. Sorry. I lost your audio for just a second. I flipped a switch.
Am I back?
Yes.
Oh, no worries.
I got it. Oh, no. That's not. No. Let me see. Right. Say that again. Wow, hold on a second, Jennie. I'm just curious. Oh.
Remember, please.
What about now?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, my God. How about we start over? You want to start over?
We can totally start over. I love starting over.
Do you like starting over? Because we're only like 8 minutes into this. Right?
We will start over. Live streaming, you have to do that. So if you want to start over, we can do that. But I want to make sure they can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, they should be able to hear us fine now. Let's see what's going on. Oh, my God, she says. Oh, I'm doing all right. But as you saw, whoops, see, and there we go. I just took her off screen. I threw her in the face. Nope, that was my fault, kiddo. Oh, jeez, I hate it when this stuff happens in live video, but it does all the time. We just have to deal with it as it comes. To learn more about live stream video, you can find me at bcblive.com.